God, I need to put out more of these episodes. I do really enjoy this game, however, I don't know why. There's not enough episodes of it as there should be. We're just putting everything into, like, love hearts, aren't we? Whatever one that was. Okay, so 3 tea parties. So we got sympathy covered, hopefully. And the only one we need is patience and grace. And I think that's one of them, right? No, patience and grace are time. And you think I'd have learned this by now, but no. Also, I do apologize if I look very pale and sweaty. It's 40 fucking degrees Celsius outside, which is 104 Celsius. I can't be asked to figure out. We'll just keep a bit. Oh, it's so hot. I don't know who told the sun it could boil down at such a rate, but not about this life. Okay, good. 1 sympathy. Fantastic. Miss? Miss? Oh! Sarah was startled when Becky caught her arm in the hallway one day. The scullery maid was usually too timid to be so insistent. If Sarah did not call out to her, Becky would more often pass by unnoticed. What is it, Becky? Oh, miss, I heard it's your birthday soon, miss. No, I will not be accepting any presents, unless it's a kiss, because Yuri, I guess. Yes, it's next week. That's what I thought I heard, miss, but I weren't sure. When is your birthday, Becky? Dunno, miss, never hadn't. But you must have a birthday, everyone does. You were born. I don't rightly remember that part, miss. But if you don't know when you were born, how old are you? Not so sure of that either, miss. The workhouse reckon I was past 14 and old enough for service. I think the workhouse were... I don't know. Under nowadays, I think that would be flimsy employment law. They'd definitely be put in prison. She doesn't look over 14. Mariette said she thought Becky was older than she appeared. Poor Becky to have never had a birthday. Well then, if you have no birthday of your own, you shall share in mine. Miss? Miss Minchin asked if there was anything I wanted for my party. I want my papa to be there, but she can't fix that for me. But she can let you come to my party, and I'm sure she will if I ask her to. Oh, miss, are you sure? No, I'm going back on this after looking your eyes. Is that... I think that is literally a star in her eye. Jesus. Of course, I'm sure every little girl deserves birthday parties. I can't even remember the last time I celebrated my birthday party. Does getting drunk count as a birthday party? Because if so, I celebrate quite regularly. Maybe you're older or maybe you're not, but you're still a little girl. Becky made a small noise, like a laugh half swallowed and tucked away. Oh, I've got a scarper, miss, now, but I hope you're right. Well, can't say I'm in agreement, but whatever, play event. So, it was week 23 we could, right? So this is week 23, got it. When Sarah went into her sitting room in the afternoon, she found on the table a small dumpy package tied up in a piece of brown paper. These will be your grades. Your papa paid for them. A birthday present. And I think I know who it came from. She unwrapped the paper quite tenderly. Inside, there was a square pin cushion made out of the not quite clean red flannel. Black pins had been stuck carefully into the surface to form the words, "Many happy returns." Right, so it's from someone who can't really spell, unless this is Old English I'm unaware of. The sight and the thought of the pains Becky must have taken to put it all together gave Sarah a warm feeling in her heart. I like it so much that it makes me feel sorrowful. But the next moment she was mystified. On the underside of the pincushion secured a card bearing in neat letters the name Miss Maria Minchin. Sarah turned the card over in her hands in case some message were written on the underside, but there was nothing. Miss Minchin, how can it be? And just at that very moment she heard the door being cautiously pushed open. That was not cautiously pushed open! That person asserted their door push, thank you very much. Becky peered around the door, then grinned and shuffled forward, pulling at her fingers. Do you like it, Miss Sarah? Do you? I haven't fucking opened it yet, Christ! I know you got stars in your eyes, but try and use the other part of your pupil. Like it? You darling, you made this all by yourself. Becky gave a hysteric but joyful sniff and her eyes looked quite moist with delight. Moist with delight? I thought that was another part of her body. These are kids. Forget I said anything. Can't do fancy stitching like Mariette, and it ain't nothing but flannel. And the flannel ain't new. But I wanted to get you something, so I worked on it at nights. I knew you could pretend it was satin with diamond pins in it. I tried to when I was making it. Oh yes, a blue satin cushion and pink diamonds, the rarest and most precious of all. Have you tried painting them? Something Becky made with her own hands in her spare time when she was so little is already more precious than diamonds. If I, like, tried to purchase... I'm not sure about the precious part, but why does it have Miss Minchin's card on it? It weren't wrong of me to pick out the dustbin, was it? Miss Minchin had it thrown away. I hadn't got a card of my own, and I knew it wouldn't be a proper present if I didn't put a card on it, so I pinned Miss Minchin's. Sarah flew at her and hugged her. She could have not told herself or anyone else why there was a lump in her throat. Oh, Becky, I love you, Becky. I do. Oh, God. Oh, miss, thank you, miss, kindly, but I ain't good enough for that. The flannel, it weren't new. Sarah laughed into Becky's neck, a queer little laugh that sounded almost much like tears as it did joy. You are far too sweet. She pulled back, looking into Becky's dear face. I wish I were the fairy godmother who could bring you a magical dress and turn you into the princess you deserve to be. I mean, your dad probably has enough money, but good luck fucking convincing him. By the way, lol, I've got two sisters. Ermengarde, who probably wants to be a soldier, and Becky. It wouldn't go down well, would it? Me? Of course, you are the kind and ill-treated heroine who works hard every day without any thanks. In any proper story, you ought to turn out to be the lost daughter of a king. I don't know about that, but sure. Don't think my mum's ever seen a king, miss. It doesn't have to be that way. A fairy tale baby might be sent down the river on a tiny boat to safety, or discovered curled up inside a walnut shell. A walnut shell? That must be a story I just never heard of before. Don't think I'd ever fit in a walnut shell either. Sarah giggled. Well, however you were born and wherever you came from, I'm very glad that you are here now with me. How dear. Mademoiselle, you must hold still so that I can set the new dress on you correctly. We look like a pillock. There is no way of getting around that, really, is there? We do look like a pillock. Jesus. I'm sorry, Mariette. I heard a horse's hooves and the sound of wheels, and then they slowed, and I thought perhaps it was a carriage come to call, a carriage with my papa. Mademoiselle, hanging your head will not make your papa come any faster, nor will it help me adjust your dress for the party. Is it wrong to keep hoping, Mariette? Yes. Is that what she said, Mariette? I thought... Oh yeah, that was her name. I know he never sent word that he could come, but he never sent a letter to say that he absolutely couldn't either. I do not think I can answer that, mademoiselle. Hope is something very personal. Then I think I will. Yeah, good luck. It will be sad if my birthday comes and my papa is not here, but if I give up hope, then I would be sad now. I think it will be easier to be a little sad then while I'm having a nice party with my friends than to be sad now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it more difficult for you to finish my dress. You've already fucking done that, haven't you? Sarah raised her head and spread her arms out like a little doll. If my papa is to see this, then it must be lovely, and my papa will not be there. If my papa will not be there, then it should just be as nice to keep up our spirits. Oh, your dress is the only thing that can do that. How arrogant. Isn't that right, Emily? Mariette laughed to herself, but would not say why. Okay, so the party isn't here yet. Jesus, we need a bunch more sympathy. Do we need anything else? No. Hang on, is that one belief? It is. Alright, so we'll put 1. Just in the hope that maybe we get a bit of belief. The rest can be tea party, and watch me get 1 sympathy. Okay, that's 1. There you are. Oh, fuck me. It worked. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, there we go. Our stats are, for the most part, complete. It was at last the day of Sarah's birthday party. There had been no further word from her papa, but at this moment Sarah was too carried away with anticipation to feel disappointment. "Oh, Miss Minchin, may I not go into the classroom yet? Everyone is already there waiting." "Not until the preparations are complete, my dear. This is not an ordinary occasion. I do not desire that it should be treated as one." Okay? Everyone else better have dressed up, is all I'm going to be angry if I'm the only one who's dressed up. That's all I'm saying. And so she was required to wait in the hall, breathless, fidgeting until Cook emerged from the classroom. "Everything's ready, Mum." Mum? "Very well, take my hand, Sarah, and let us enter." It's completely empty. They've done nothing. Oh wait, hang on, there's no tables and chairs. Alright, maybe that's the difference here. It's set up for a dance. Sarah entered the holly-hung schoolroom as the head of the sort of a procession. First, there was Miss Minchin in a grand silk dress, and Sarah herself guided by her hand. A manservant followed, carrying the box containing the last doll. Cook carried a second box, and Becky brought up the rear, carrying a third box and wearing a clean apron and a new cap. Oh, a new cap all to herself. All the students in their seats stared at this little parade, the older girls touching each other's elbows and nodding, the youngest girls squirming with excitement. Faced with so many eyes, Sarah felt herself unaccountably shy. Not since her first introduction at Miss Minchin's Select Seminary had she been quite so much the attention. Centre of all attention. "Silence, young ladies. This is just her normal dress. She hasn't dressed up at all." Liar. The room itself was not quite transformed, but certainly made far more festive. The desks had been pushed away, and the long-form benches covered over with red cloth. A large table had been set in pride of place, its surface scattered with flower petals. It was here that Miss Minchin directed her entourage. "James, place that box upon the table and remove the lid. Emma, put yours upon the chair. Becky?" Becky had quite forgotten herself. "A new cap? And a new apron? It still looks dirty as shit. It's not new if it's someone else's." And was exchanging grins with Lottie when that disapproving voice nearly startled her into dropping her box. "Yes, Mum." She bobbed quite a shaky little curtsy of apology, but with the box still in her arms, the positioning was quite awkward. Pricks. Both tittered at once and then looked at each other in startlement for falling so easily into their lost rapport. "It is not your place to look at the young ladies. You forget yourself. Put the box down." "Yes, ma'am." "You may leave us." She waved her hand and the servants began to walk away. "If you please, Miss Minchin, mayn't Becky stay?" "Becky?" "I want her because I know she will like to see the presents. She is a little girl too, you know." Miss Minchin was scandalized. She glanced from one figure to the other. "My dear Sarah, Becky is the scullery maid. Scullery maids are not little girls." Oh, God, she makes my elitism of being middle class and English seem, well, quite like that, like as if it's not elitist at all. But Becky is, she's elitist is what I'm trying to get at, all right? But Becky is, and I know she would enjoy herself. But please let her stay, because it is my birthday. Miss Minchin took a slow breath and replied with much dignity. "As you ask it as a birthday favour, she may stay. Rebecca, thank Miss Sarah for her great kindness." Becky had been backing up into the corner, twisting the hem of her apron in delighted suspense. She came forward, bobbing curtsies, and out of Miss Minchin's sight she passed a friendly wink to Sarah. "Oh, if you please, miss, I'm that grateful, miss. I did want to see the doll, miss, that I did. Thank you, miss, and thank you, ma'am, for the liberty—" Yeah, stop saying ma'am. "Go and stand there, not too near the young ladies." Becky went to her place grinning. Oh, God. It's a sad, sad life you work in, where the only joy you take is watching other people open presents. Ugh. She did not even mind. Miss Minchin cleared her throat ominously and spoke again. "Now, young ladies, I have a few words to say to you." She's going to make a speech. I wish it was over. "You are aware, young ladies, that today is dear Sarah's birthday." Dear Sarah. Sarah's birthdays are different from all other little girls' birthdays. When she is older, she will be an heiress to a large fortune, it will be her duty to spend in a meritorious manner. The diamond mines. With her are they heckling this out loud? Why hasn't she told them to shut up yet? When her dear papa, Captain Crew, brought her from India and gave her into my care, he said to me in a jesting way, "I'm afraid she will be very rich, Miss Minchin." My reply was, "Her education at my seminary, Captain Crew, shall be such as will adorn the largest fortune." I wish she would stop saying these things. Makes me feel hot all over and everyone is staring. Sarah has become my most accomplished pupil. Her French and her dancing are a credit to the seminary. It doesn't count if that's fucking native, Jesus. Her manners, which have caused you all to call her Princess Sarah, are perfect. I think more mockingly, but okay. Her amiability she exhibits by giving you this afternoon's party. I hope you appreciate her generosity. I wish you to express your appreciation of it by saying all together, "Thank you, Sarah." The entire schoolroom rose to its feet and chorused Miss Minchin's words. Lottie even jumped up and down. Sarah looked rather shy for a moment, then made a very nice curtsy. Fuck it. Can we send Lottie out the room and just replace her with Becky? Just fuck off. I won't mind. Honestly, it'll be fine. Thank you for coming to my party. Very pretty indeed, Sarah. This is what a real princess does when the populace applauds her. The populace! Oh, Jesus. Lavinia, the sound you made was extremely like a snort. If you are jealous of your fellow pupil, I beg you will express your feelings in some more ladylike manner. Now I will leave you to enjoy yourselves. What? It's my birthday! Why is fucking Lottie in the center? This is bullshit, man. The instant she had swept out of the room, the web-like aura that she had held the girls down dissipated and they rushed from their seats in a babble of excitement. It was the boxes that drew the most attention. Sarah was bent over one. Stop it. There are books, I know. Does your papa send your books for a birthday present? Why, he's as bad as mine. I like them. Books aren't exciting. I want to see the doll. Fuck off, Lottie! Whose birthday is it? Is it your birthday? No! Then shut up! She doesn't make me angry. For everyone present, through whispered rumours, had come to know that quite a magnificent doll was due to appear. Even so, when Sarah finally produced the last doll from her box, a number of the girls were struck speechless. Lavinia just looks sad. Lottie, well, is still looking like a twat. It did not seem possible that she could be a doll. She looked only a bit smaller than the youngest students, as if a beautiful child had lain asleep in that box. She's dressed for the theatre. Look, her cloak is lined with ermine. Oh, she has an opera glass in her hand, a blue and gold one. Sarah drew out her doll's trunk and the little golden key which unlocked it. Inside were tray after tray of delightful things. There were lace collars and silk stockings and handkerchiefs. There was a jewel case containing a necklace and a tiara which looked quite as if they were made of real diamonds. Sarah picked up a black velvet hat to perch on the last doll's curls. Suppose she understands human talks and feels proud of being admired. You are always supposing things. Shut up. Her air was very superior, and yet the words were less vicious than Lavinia's outbursts in the past weeks had been. Perhaps the aura of celebration had brought even Lavinia some happiness. She was the one making crass remarks minutes ago. There is nothing so nice as supposing. It's almost like being a fairy. If you suppose anything hard enough, it seems as if it were real. Okay, I wish that... Okay, no, I'm going to suppose that Lottie isn't here. Come on. I'm supposing so hard. No, she's still there. Fuck. Well, that didn't work, did it? At that moment, the door opened. Ladies. Cook drew herself up as if attempting to speak in Miss Minchin's dry tones, but the effect did not quite become her. Miss Minchin has a meeting, so she said you should all have your refreshments now. Refreshments! Becky, who had seen the preparations ahead of time, could not help blurting out, "Tell 'em what you got." Cook shook a heavy hand in Becky's directions, and the scullery girl closed her mouth and ducked away. Special treat from overseas. All the way from America. It's some kind of beans and spiced tomato sauce, and they put it in cans. So what you're saying is it's baked beans. I mean, forgive me for not shitting myself in excitement, but come on. Baked beans? Is it baked beans or is it Mexican? I don't know. Whatever. How quaint! In her office, Miss Minchin was meeting with a familiar visitor. Good day, Mr. Barrow. Have you come to see the goods? I can assure you the doll is just as expected. £100, all expensive material, and made at a Parisian modiste's. He spent money lavishly enough, that young man. Captain Crewe is a man of fortune. The diamond mines are like... Diamond mines? There are no such things, never were. Miss Minchin stood up from her chair in confusion. What do you mean? At any rate, it would have been much better if there never were any. Any diamond mines? I don't understand. Diamond mines spell ruin oftener than they spell wealth. When a man is in the hands of a very dear friend and is not a businessman himself, he had better steer clear of a dear friend's diamond mines, or gold mines, or any other kind of dear friends want his money to put into. The late Captain Crewe. There's a twist! I want to end the episode now, but I won't. The late Captain Crewe. You don't come to tell me that Captain Crewe he's dead, Mum. Dead of jungle fever and business troubles combined. The jungle fever might not have killed him if he had not been driven mad by the business troubles. And the troubles might not have put an end to him if the fever had not been assisted. I mean, I'm not going to say I called it that the diamond mines were fake, but come on, it was pretty obvious. Captain Crewe is dead. Miss Minchin dropped into her chair again. What were his business troubles? Diamond mines and his dear friends, and ruin. Ruin? That young man had too much money and spent too freely. The dear friend was mad on the subject of the diamond mine. He put all his money into it. Then the dear friend ran away. Captain Crewe was already stricken with fever when the news came. The shock was too much for him. He died delirious, raving about his little girl, and left her not a penny. He left nothing? Do you mean to tell me that the child is a beggar? That she has left on my hands a little pauper instead of an heiress? She has certainly left a beggar, and she has certainly left on your hands, ma'am, as she hasn't a relation in the world that we know of. She is sitting in my rooms at this moment, dressed in silk gauze and lace petticoats, giving a party at my expense. She's certainly giving it at your expense, madame, if she's giving it. I was always so sure of his payments, and I went through all sorts of ridiculous expenses for that child. Her maid. A carriage. I paid the bills for that ridiculous doll and her ridiculous fantastic wardrobe. I sent you the receipts. Barrow and Skipworth are not responsible for anything. There never was a cleaner sweep made of a man's fortune. Captain Crewe died without paying our last bill, and it was a big one. Now Miss Minchin understood. And never had she received such a blow in her life. She felt as if she had been outraged and robbed, and the Captain Crewe and Sarah and Mr. Burrow were equally to blame. I think she needs a second to calm down and not, murder us all. Her show pupil, her prize patron, her income, all had been snatched away. Instead, she was burdened with an extravagantly brought-up child, one who had cost her a great deal and might continue to cost her even more. But what am I to do? What am I to do? There isn't anything to do. Captain Crewe is dead. The child has left a pauper. Nobody is responsible for her but you. I'm not responsible for her, and I refuse to be made responsible. If you think she is to be foisted off on me, you are greatly mistaken. I've been robbed and cheated. I will turn her into the street. Mr. Barrow turned and moved towards the door, showing no concern. I wouldn't do that, madame. It wouldn't look well. It reflects poorly on the establishment. People bundled out penniless and without friends. Other parents might object. Yeah, just slightly. You and I are people of business, madame. We can be sensible about these matters. Better to keep her and make use of her. She's a clever child, I believe. You can get a good deal out of her as she grows older. I would get a good deal out of her before she grows older. I'm sure you will, madame. I'm sure you will. He gave her a sinister little smile and departed. For moments, Maria Minchin was incapable of doing anything but standing and staring at the closed door. During the past months, the story of the diamond mine had suggested all sorts of possibilities to her. Even proprietors of seminaries might make fortunes in stocks with the aid of owners of mines. And now, instead of looking forwards to gains, she was left to look back upon losses. Such money as she herself had advanced was lost and could not be regained. Instead of a jewel of pupils, she only had a friendless, beggared little girl. The Princess Sarah, indeed. The child had been pampered as if she were a queen. She did not realize at first that she had spoken aloud and then scowled at her own loss of control. What was lost could not be recovered, and she would see to it that she had lost nothing more. Well, This is going to be a fucking awkward conversation, isn't it? Yeah. Have fun watching this next part, lads.